What's up, everybody? Common Sense Custodian here. You know, it's been a while. It's been a little while since I made videos, about 2 or 3 months. And, I feel a real draw. I feel a fire inside me that I haven't felt in a long time. A need to come back on here and start doing videos again, especially with what is going on in the world right now. And I'm a huge, Revolutionary War nerd. I love that time. I love reading quotes of our founding fathers. And it's amazing how some of them resonate to today. But what we're seeing happening right now, what has just happened last night, the news that broke of 4 activist judges, completely partisan, Democrat judges removing someone from the ballot, Donald Trump. We're sitting at the precipice here. We're an infant country. We're only 250 years old. Rome lasted 2,000 years. That's a long time. That's 10 times longer than we're at right now. And it eventually fell apart. Imagine if we fell apart here, only 1/10 of the way that Rome made it. We can do much better than that, and it's not going to happen. We're not going to make it with things like this happening. There are people who are screaming at you that Trump is going to destroy democracy, while those same people are destroying democracy. It's so mind-boggling that I got to make a video about it. We got to talk about it, and what I really want to highlight is a hero, in my opinion, Vivek Ramaswamy, what he said, what some articles are saying. We're going to dive into this, guys. This is the most important year in our country's history. We've had other important years. We've had crazy things that happened in the past. But I think where we go this election cycle is going to say whether we're going to be free and we're going to continue down the path of freedom and this experiment in freedom, or are we going to head down a socialist, communist path. Authoritarian, where the establishment and the very select few elites decide for everybody else. That is a nightmare. If you read Orwell's 1984, what's happening now it's almost like he predicted the future. If you haven't read that book or seen the movie, you really should see it. It gets me choked up when I think about that movie, because what happens in it and the book, what happens in it is mind-boggling. It's happening right before our eyes right here. Also, just go back into the early 2000s, see what happened with Venezuela, how they hijacked the courts, how they used the courts to subvert democracy in that country and bring in socialist authoritarian rule, and look at the shape of Venezuela today. They're knocking down our door, right? They're charging in across our borders, escaping Venezuela. Why? If it's so great what they did back then, why are they coming here now, right? So just think about that too. We got to dive into this. This is crazy times. I'm back to make videos to talk about it. We got to bring common sense back. What is going on right now? What is going on? Let's read into what happened, okay? So for those of you who don't know, there has been 4 Democrat-picked justices booted Trump off the ballot in Colorado. Now, it is just for the primary. However, the precedent being set here is crazy. All right, so I want to read what Vivek Ramaswamy had to say, because this might be the best statement put out regarding what's going on. So Vivek said, "This is what an actual attack on democracy looks like," right? We keep hearing what the other side, I'm independent. I do lean right, but I can't stand Republicans really, but my God, I can't vote Democrat. They've gone so off the deep end, right? So so when I say the other side, I really mean the far left, the establishment, right? So this is what an actual attack on democracy looks like. In an un-American, unconstitutional, and unprecedented, and he puts that in between stars, decision, a cabal of Democrats, so purely partisan, it's not like it's bipartisan, judges are barring Trump from the ballot in Colorado. Having tried every trick in the book to eliminate President Trump from running, and in my opinion, destroying his character, these people are unbelievably relentless in what they're doing to this man, and in fact, what they're doing to the people. They don't believe you can choose who you want, so they're going to destroy the person who's running. It's unbelievable what we're seeing. So using every trick in the book to eliminate President Trump from running in this election, the bipartisan establishment is now deploying a new tactic to bar him from ever holding office again, the 14th Amendment. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary unless Trump is also allowed to be on the state's ballot, and I demand that Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, and Nikki Haley do the same immediately, or else they are tactically endorsing this illegal maneuver, which will have a disastrous consequence for our country. And I cannot agree more with what he said there. The results of this can be disastrous. Man. You're imagine being there and you want to vote for Trump. I mean, imagine they took it away. Now imagine it's flipped around. Imagine if you wanted to vote for whoever. I'm just going to throw. Imagine you wanted to vote for Biden and his name was taken off there by a bunch of Republicans. It's crazy. You can't be doing this. You can't. I wouldn't support it in any way for any side. You cannot do this. You have to leave this up to the people. Today's decision is the latest election interference tactic to silence political opponents and swing the election for whatever puppet the Democrats put up this time by depriving Americans the right to vote for their candidate of choice, what I just said. The 14th Amendment, this is important, was part of the Reconstruction Amendments. It was a specific time there that were ratified following the Civil War. It was passed to prohibit former Confederate military and political leaders from holding high federal or state office. These men had clearly taken part in a rebellion against the United States, the Civil War, right, where more Americans died than any other time in our history. 600,000 people died to fight to make every man free, equal. Remember that. 600,000 Americans, brothers kill brother. But that's what this was for. That makes it all the more absurd that a left-wing group in Colorado is asking a federal court to disqualify the 45th president on the same grounds, equating his free speech to a rebellion against the United States. Let's remember, he's never been convicted of insurrection, and he never said anything of the sort. So for these four activist judges to say he partook in that, it's on what grounds can you say that? He had every right to say peacefully, which he said, peacefully let your voices heard. My God. And there's another legal problem. Trump is not a former, quote, officer of the United States, as that term is used in the Constitution, meaning Section 3 does not apply. As the Supreme Court explained, in Free Enterprise Fund versus Public Company Accounting Oversight Board in 2010, an officer of the United States is someone appointed by the president to aid him in his duties under Article 2, Section 2. The term does not apply to elected officials and certainly not to the president himself. In closing, he says here, the framers of the 14th Amendment would be appalled to see this narrow provision, which was intended to bar former U.S. officials who switched sides to the Confederacy from seeking public office, to be weaponized by a sitting president and his political allies to prevent a former president from seeking re-election. Our country is becoming unrecognizable to our founding fathers, and that is exactly how I feel. This is... I don't care what side you're on. And I've even seen people on CNN today agreeing with this. You can't do this. All right. This is a disgusting precedent that can be set. Hopefully the Supreme Court knocks this down, God willing, because this type of precedent was the type of precedent that will destroy a nation. Forget it. Where this could lead is just so devastating. But there is a little bit of good news, and I'll say that. So here, later on, Vivek, you should check these tweets out, by the way. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump is allowed to be on the ballot, and I demand Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, and Nikki Haley do the same. Otherwise, they're tactically endorsing this illegal maneuver, which will have disastrous consequences for our country. And I tell you what, the speed at which Vivek came out and said this, he's a true patriot. This guy, this man is the real deal. I'm so happy to have him for the future and beyond. I could easily see him becoming president in 2028. I've never heard somebody speak so eloquently. As I watch him evolve over this cycle, this election cycle, I could see him even learning more and realizing how corrupt this is, because I'm learning it along with him. I can't believe how corrupt and how deep no pun intended, the deep state goes. It's unbelievable. So, of course, Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, and Nick Haley are cowards, in my opinion. They won't come out and say that. Everybody should boycott to be off the ballot, right? However, in a little bit of ray of hope here, the Colorado Republican Party has come out, and this has got 2 million views. They answered Vivek and said, don't worry, you will not have to, because we will withdraw from the primary as a party, and we will convert to a pure caucus system if this is allowed to stand. Good for them. Usually the Republicans do not stand up to stuff like this. That's my biggest complaint to the Republicans, is that they have no spine. That's why I can't stand them. I can't stand Republicans. I mean, I can't. The Democrats are just the worst, but I can't stand Republicans. I think a lot of the problems in the country today stem from Republicans having no spine, selling out. You know the deal. I just can't stand it. But thank God for Vivek Ramaswamy standing up, doing the right thing in light of this atrocity that we're witnessing here. Let the voters decide. How dare 4 unelected Democrat partisan judges decide to remove somebody off the ballot for their free speech right? Oh my God, this is unbelievable. What do you guys think? I know there's a lot of Trump haters out there, and listen, you can hate the man. That's fine. You can hate him, man. But this is not right. It wouldn't be right if it was in reverse. If it was happening to somebody that I couldn't stand. This is not how it's supposed to be. Leave it to the voters to decide. Let me know your opinions. Back at this. It's time we start making videos and talking about this is common sense. This can't happen. You cannot do this on either side. Nobody should be doing this stuff. Actually, I hate all this impeachment stuff. Believe it or not, I don't even think they should be going after Biden for impeachment. I know that might sound, people might attack me. This has got to end, this impeaching everybody, going after each other. This has to end. And I pray it will, but unfortunately, the left, the establishment, is so obsessed with Trump derangement syndrome that they're going to go after this man. We're going to get it. I'm going to make some videos and relating what I see happening to JFK, his brother, Reagan, Trump, all the stuff that's going on with the establishment since World War II. I have a video planned for that because I've been really sometimes at night I just sit and think about it. Wow, we've been lied to about so much stuff. Everybody should have really listened to Eisenhower back in his speech when he left office. That was an incredible speech, and maybe I'll do a video on that speech too, because everything he said then is also coming to fruition here. Pray for our country. Pray for America. I'll catch you guys in the next one.